Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So it's time for another event in Twisted Wonderland. This one including the absolutely gorgeous Jack, which I have wanted since I saw him on the ads in Tokyo Station back in February. And the state of my gems is very glad that he's an SR. Hello Nick, how are you doing? Yeah, starting off with the pulls, as in the only 1/10-fold pull I will need to obtain this Jack. I'm willing it into existence. Please, Jack, I need resources for Ernesto and also your birthday. You got Jack and you're broke yet again. Yeah, that's a mood. Right, please give me one extremely gorgeous long-haired Jack, please, Mira. I mean, I will also take more than one. More than one is also an option. Is it Jack? Maybe. Yay! Success! Look at that crazy amount of hair, man. And the gold eyeshadow. He is gorgeous. Yeah, I would also take a riddle if that was on offer, that is true. Because damn. I will take a min pull that gets me my boy. I can live with that. Alright. That's that. No, wrong button. That one. That button. Let's go actually see what's going on. I did make sure to gather enough lanterns for the stamp missions, which I hope will be enough lanterns to get me through this part of the story. It's been a while since we've seen this room of the library. That takes care of most of my required reading for class. With that out of the way, maybe I'll check out some judicial texts while I'm here. I'm done with the books on this shelf, so these two should be next. I just need to check them out and... You skipped the story because you wanted to hear me voice it? Thank you! You're looking for a book for a history of magic assignment, right? Why are you checking the health and fitness section? Oh, sorry. Oh, did the stream stutter? YouTube is not telling me anything? I'm sorry, I just got sidetracked. Let's see, where would books about where would books about magical history books be? Books about magical history books, Deuce? Also, it's amusing, Deuce in the library, given what we last had in the main story, huh? Read your books, Deuce. You'll find most of them in the History and Humanities section, though it depends on what you're looking for. Housewarden Riddle, hello. Don't speak so loudly, Deuce. You need to keep your voice down in the library. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. He told you to keep it down. In one ear and out the other. You're both looking for books to check out, I take it. If the two of you came together, I suppose that means the track and field club's morning practice must be over. It is, but we didn't come together. I mentioned I was going to the library before class, and he invited himself along. Well, that does mean you came here together, Jack. It just worked out that way. We just both happened to have business at the library, that's all. Wrap up your bickering and pick out your books, you two. Class is about to start. Oh, you're right. I've got to find mine quick. Let's see. Where's the history section again? Over here. I got my pick in mind already. And here it is. Better get this checked out quick. I was about to do the same, but I don't see anyone at the counter. Man, really? I thought they were supposed to have someone stationed there while the library's open to handle this sort of thing. You can't just put out a "Be back soon" sign and call it good. Who does that? Who indeed? Just because this library has scant visitors before class doesn't mean it's acceptable to break the rules. This is a problem. If I don't complete the checkout procedures, I can't take these books out of the library. Very well, I'll have to come back on lunch break. What was that flash of light outside? Whoa! Something just fell from the sky! I'm assuming this is Callum, given the characters that have cards. I can hardly overlook such flagrant disregard for... Oh, hold on. Someone's leaning dangerously far out of a window. They're gonna fall. Whoa! Watch out! Housewarden Riddle, I heard yelling. Did something happen? That scared me. He nearly plunged right out of this window. Oh, that's a familiar looking window. What's Rapunzel's window doing in the library? Ow. Landed right on my butt. You should be grateful that's what you landed on. If Riddle hadn't stepped in with his magic, you'd have hit the ground head first. Sorry. This is nothing to laugh about. Everything you just did is a glaring breach of etiquette. Why were you dangling yourself out of that window anyway? There was a flash outside, and when I looked and saw something weird falling from the sky, I just grabbed for it without thinking. What was it? This? Ah, a lantern. Is it some kind of container? It's cylindrical, and there's something near the open end. Metal fittings? See? Weird, right? Good thing I caught it before it hit the ground. I think it would have been fine hitting the ground. It's very lightweight, unlike you, Callum. Nothing about what you just did was good. You need to learn from this. Housewarden, It's just about time for class to start. Could we maybe let this one go? There's still no one at the counter, huh? If I don't get that book, I won't finish my assignment before it's due tomorrow. What? Tomorrow? Are you kidding? Why didn't you start on it sooner? I started on it last week. It's just not coming together very well. Are you here to check out a book for homework, Deuce? So am I. I have no idea where to find it, and I'm sure it'll all work out. Yeah, for sure. Deuce. I'll help you with your assignment. See that you finish it today. Yes, sir. Now let's hurry to class. Strange. The library door won't open. Huh. You're right. Is it jammed? Oh, that and it still won't budge. Doesn't matter if I push or pull either, it's not moving. Well, if it weren't open to Jack's muscles, I think we're stuck. Maybe it's locked from the outside? Some people can be so careless. That's the warning bell. We're going to be late to class if we don't do something. Uh-oh, that wouldn't be good. We haven't tried the combo of Deuce and Jack's muscles. That's true. That is true. Hello? Is anyone there? Callum, are you in the library? Is that you, Jamil? Great! I'm so glad you're here! At the perfect time! The perfect time? Class is about to start. I heard you weren't in your classroom, so I came looking for you. Clearly seeing you off at the classroom door isn't enough. Do I have to physically walk you into the room? Come on, that seems a little overboard. How old do you think Callum is? Old enough to know better? To be fair, Jamil's current approach is in fact not enough, as evidenced by current events. I was planning on getting back with plenty of time before class started. But the door to the library seems to be locked from the outside. Please get us out of here. It's also interesting to note that the library appears to be a completely separate building, given that Jamil is actively outside. Why would the library be locked during its normal hours? Wait, it's not locked. It's not? But it really doesn't want to open, does it? Is it stuck on something? This isn't ideal. Callum, who else is in there with you? Riddle, Deuce, and Jack. We've been trying to open the door from our side, but no amount of pushing or pulling seems to do the trick. Alright. If Riddle's there, it should be safe for me to step away for a bit. Well, Riddle is trusted. Hey! I'm here too! So am I. And me. Yes, I know. Wait there, I'll find a teacher. He wants us to wait here. Yeah, Deuce, you are not trusted to take care of Callum. The class about to start? No way am I wasting time just waiting around. I'm gonna look for a way out. Yeah, is there a window we can open to the outside, or a window we can break to the outside? Jack went off by himself. Trying to find another way out's not a bad idea, though. Oh, I know! We could get on our brooms and fly out the window. Do you have your brooms? Yeah, we totally could. You're a genius, Deuce. Me, a genius? Wow, this must be what being a real honor student feels like. Wait, no time to savor the moment. I gotta get us some brooms. From where, Deuce? From where? Should be a broom closet around here. Ah, is this it? Here we go. They're a little different from the brooms we use in class, but they should be good enough to make it to the ground. Well, yes, probably because these are brooms designed for cleaning, and not designed for flying. Yes. Don't! It would be dangerous to fall off a broom from this height. Besides, going out through a window isn't exactly... It'll be fine, House Warden Riddle. You'll see. Okay, gotta find a window I can fit through. That one should be big enough. There's not much wind. Yeah, I should be able to make it. Yeah. Ooh! That sounded painful. That sounded very painful, Deuce. Ow! Deuce! Are you alright, Deuce? That was one spectacular crash. Yes, sir. The broom smacked into something when I tried to fly out the window. Ah. Invisible wall. What did it hit? What's going on here? Ow! I was gonna take a look outside, but my forehead slammed into something. I had no problem leaning out this window before. Why can't I do it now? It's like there's an invisible wall here. An invisible wall? You're right. It's like there's a glass partition here now. It's blocking us from putting so much as a hair out the window. The way you're moving your hands reminds me of something. What was it again? A mime, Callum. Oh yeah, I remember. It's like a pantomime. This is no time for frivolous remarks. Sorry, it doesn't look like a wall's there at all, though. How does any of this work? Magic. Let me guess. No luck on your end either. Jack, I'm guessing it's the same for you? Yeah, nothing's opening. Not the doors, not the windows, not even the access hatch to the roof. I've tried every spell I can think of, but nothing's working. What is going on here? Did someone use some powerful magic to trap us in the library? That's absurd. Who would do such a thing, and for what reason? Rosehearts, can you and the other gentlemen hear me? I came running as soon as I heard you were in need of assistance. I'm here too. We came as fast as I could. Kalla and Grim, you're here too? They happened to be with me at the time, so I brought them along. Lucky for me, Javel showed up right when I was about to get a whole lecture. Why would you be getting a lecture so early in the day? Kalla, what did Grim do? Don't ask, or you know, the usual. Head mage, I'll explain the situation. Here's what's happening. One explanation later. Yes. Crowley has very, very deliberately brought us along. Are we going to somehow find a way to get into the library but then not be able to get back out again? Is that how we're going to end up on this trip with them? Or are they going to go on their own? The library door isn't locked, but no amount of pushing or pulling is opening it. Furthermore, invisible walls are preventing you from exiting through the windows or the roof. This is tricky. Let's review what we know. We have 4 students stuck in the library. Rosehearts, as in Spade and Howl. The librarians are all out attending to other matters. Meetings, book procurement, and so on. It seems you 4 are the only ones stuck inside. Can't believe the librarians left the library unattended. 14 chapters. Thank you, Nick. Dear me, what terrible luck for you boys. Spoken with such nonchalance. But if you believe this has to do with our luck, that implies this is some sort of accident. And if an accident arises due to issues with school facilities or management, that makes it the school's responsibility. No, stop. Don't use scary words like accident or responsibility. Ah yes, the scariest word for that our head mage has heard. Responsibility. I started looking into it as soon as the head mage alerted me to what was going on. But I found no clear reason why the library would be locked or sealed off. And I can't detect any spells I recognize. In addition, the school and library barriers don't seem to be malfunctioning. Nothing about this makes any sense. Yes, a responsible adult, exactly. Unfortunately, Shrine doesn't have any idea how to get us out. Looking into the cause can wait. Our first priority is getting these pups out of their cage. We need to get this door open and get back to class as quickly as possible. There's a lot of students hanging out in classrooms right now doing anything but studying, isn't that? Because the teachers are here. If we don't let these rowdy pups out soon, they might start tearing up the interior and ruining valuable literature. Don't worry, Riddle will make sure they don't do that, Cruel. Professor Cruel, if I may, that concern is hardly... Professor Cruel is absolutely right. We can't just stand idly by. I'll use magic to open the door. It's a trifling enough task for someone of my caliber. I mean, head mage? Don't you think Riddle already tried door opening magic? It's so lucky that the faculty came. Yeah, we should thank Jammer later. I don't like turning to others for help, but the sooner we can get back to our dorms, the better. Being tardy is a grave matter indeed. We must get to class as quickly as possible. Strange. What's wrong, sir? I've been casting a whole variety of spells on the door, but none of them are working. So much for the head mage's caliber. Step aside, I'll burn that door down. Fire near the books, Grim? Don't be absurd, that door is highly valuable. Head mage, did you just show more concern for the door than for your own students? That's hardly an appropriate attitude for an educator. Not at all, not at all. Why does it sound like an earthquake? What I meant was... any impact strong enough to break down the door could potentially endanger the students inside. I'll need you all to sit tight until we figure out a solution to this. And if we can't find one today, prepare yourselves for the possibility that you may have to spend the night here. Is there food in the library? I don't think there's food in the library. Is there water in the library? Also probably not, right? What? You expect us to spend the night here? How can you say something like that so nonchalantly? I need to finish an assignment by tomorrow. Please get me out of here. Well, I mean, the resources you need are here. Unless you didn't bring your assignment with you. I agree with them. I have responsibilities as a house warden. I must be freed at once. Oh, come on, is it that bad? Ain't a library all quiet and easy to sleep in? Yeah, but there's no food, Grim. Surely you understand the problem here. I think it'll be a ton of fun to have a sleepover in the library. I mean, I would be all for a sleepover in the library. Assuming that I had blankets, snacks, drinks. None of which our boys seem to have. We could all read books, eat good food, dance, sing, and spend the whole night chatting. That sounds like the life. I want to go in. I'm busting down that door right now. No, my valuable vintage door. Yeah, Callum, where's the food? admittedly, actually, we don't have to worry about water, do we? Because we have Kalla. Except then we have to worry about the books. But wait. The door isn't burning. Thank goodness for that, because we do not want to set fire to the library. Yes, thank goodness indeed. Dear me, my heart's still pounding. Magical fire didn't work. What manner of power is at play here? Ooh. Who's this gonna be? Is this someone inside or outside of the library? I'll redo the line once I know who it is. No need to fear, help has arrived. Voice. I can redo the line at the start of the next chapter. Oh, Coach Vargas, of course. No need to worry, help has arrived. There we go. Did I startle you? Yeah, I have a habit of doing that. But you're in good hands now. I'll have you out of that library in no time. Yes, more muscle. The most muscle available. With these muscles! No, that door is a cultural asset. It's been in place since this institute was founded. Wait. The door isn't broken. Yes, we could probably do it. I mean, I feel like we have brain as well, and that hasn't fixed it either, though. Unbelievable! How is it still standing after I rammed it with my signature tackle? A move that never fails to squash the most fearsome of beasts. It didn't so much as dent the door. Something's clearly afoot. My goodness, Professor Cruel, that's a generous compliment. You're making me blush. It wasn't a compliment. And stop taking matters into your own hands. And this time I feared it was doomed for certain. The entire reason I chose not to call him in was because it was patently obvious he'd go for the brute force approach. I really need to know which way do these library doors open in the first place? Do they open inwards or outwards? Was a tackle the correct option, or would a more correct option be to, like, thread a rope through the door handle, tie it around Coach Vargas's middle, and have him play tug of war with the door? I mean, we know that Jack tried both on the inside. But, like, can we have Coach Vargas play tug of war with the door? You know who we need to get this door open? You know who we need to get this door open? Ortho. Pretty sure he can bust out like a welding torch or something and make a hole. Well, probably not, given that Grimm's fire did nothing, but it's worth a shot. What was that? Coach Vargas tackled the door. It didn't even so much as shake. If both magic and might are proving ineffective, then that means our prospects of escape have dimmed considerably. They will probably use the magical equivalent of C4. Well, yes. Yeah, can we try an ortho beam on the door? Like, we know that's strong. Dear me. The library is the brains of this campus. It houses many rare and one-of-a-kind books, as well as tomes that cost tens of thousands of Thormarks per volume. It also has many volumes from my own highly valuable collection, which I've compiled by travelling all over the world. The idea of such a treasure trove being left inaccessible is entirely unacceptable. The thing is, we've established the door isn't locked though, right? I'm not sure how we've established the door isn't locked, but Jamil said the door wasn't locked. But yeah, I think Lilia is the most likely person to know how to pick a lock. Idia could get through the lock if it was more technological. I shall exhaust every possible means to resolve this matter. I'll start by looking up some literature on... Oh, wait, I can't enter the library. I can only hope what books I have in my office will offer some useful insights. I'll look through them and see. Coach Vargas, I'd like your assistance. You'll need my muscles, huh? I've got biceps to spare. Professor Cruel, tell the student body to stay away from the library. Well, that's the best way to get the student body to come to the library. It's bad enough that 4 people are trapped inside. We must head off any additional trouble. Understood. Rosehearts, you and the other boys sit tight. And whatever you do, do not damage the library or any of the books. Yes, head mage. Professor Train, if you'd please, stay here and keep an eye on things. I'm worried those 4 might do something reckless and destroy the library. I mean, they could hurt themselves. All right. Okay, what do you want me and Grimm to do, head mage? As for you, Kalla and Grimm, do you understand the situation? Something weird's going on with the library, and you gotta do something to get Riddle and the others out? I suppose that's an acceptable level of comprehension on your part. On that note, you 2 are now on gopher duty. Gopher duty? What do you mean specifically, head mage? Delivering things as needed, passing along messages. I'm sure other tasks will arise as well, and someone's got to do them. And it's not going to be him. Do be sure to prioritize any communication from me. Is that clear? You're not going to take no for an answer, are you?
Hey, Kalla! Don't just roll over and accept orders. I don't want to do it.
Oh, really? That's unfortunate. I've got a few invoices I'll need to send to Ramshackle Dorm.
No fair. Okay, fine. We'll take the stinking job. They're gonna run us through the ringer. You better be ready, Kalla.
We'll be counting on you both. Professor Train, you're in charge here. Everyone else, do as Professor Train says. Oh, how terribly busy I am. They can't expect us to sit around doing nothing while the others solve this. Right, we should do what we can inside the library to find a way out. Find a way out? Yeah, maybe there are puzzles, Jack. Maybe it's an escape room. Well said. I fully agree. A way out. If we could identify what's causing this, it follows that a solution would present itself. Can any of you think of any reason why you've been trapped in there? For example, if any of you might have done something to anger someone. Could it be resentment over that one time? Maybe it was that one guy? Could be from that incident. You guys all have guesses? I can't think of any way I might have upset someone. Callum. Or was there perhaps something strange that happened before you became trapped? Yeah, there was something strange and Callum fell. It was business as usual, I think. Oh, wait. The sky flashed. It was just for a split second, though. The sky flashed? I observed it as well. Before I could ascertain what was happening, I heard Callum shouting. Oh yeah, something weird fell from the sky. Something weird. Describe it to me, Asum. Is like a balloon. Yeah, a small balloon. And there's this symbol on the outside that kind of looks like a sun. Oh hey, come to think of it, I was leaning out of the window when I snagged this balloon thingy in the first place. A sun symbol. Roseheart, use your magic to send me the object Asim found. What? Wouldn't that be a breach of library rules? Library rules? Like no being loud and no running? Were there others? Yes, checking things out of the library if you're going to take them out of the library, Juice. Plenty, yes. The one I'm referring to is no removing library property without permission. I mean, you appear to have permission from Professor Train, Riddle. And it's not for certain that that lantern is library property either. Just because it's in the library doesn't mean it belongs to the library. Nightraven College's school library nullifies spells that would remove items from inside it. Oh, okay, it's not that it's the rules, it's that there is physically a barrier. As the head mage said, this library houses a great many rare and valuable books. So it has its own special preventative barrier, separate from the one surrounding the campus. So the library has a barrier that prevents you from removing things from inside it. Have you guys considered that maybe the library thinks you're its property now? That feels like the easy answer, right? What did you do to become library property, guys? Every book here is magically bound to this location. Consider it the library's unique security system, if that makes it easier to understand. Yeah, maybe you can figure out the library checkout procedure and check yourselves out? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'd like to check out some students. Huh? But wouldn't that keep people from checking out books and taking them to their dorm? Books that are checked out through formal procedures are exempt, of course. The checkout procedure serves a dual purpose. One is to document who currently has possession of what books. The other is to dispel the book's enchantment and allow it to be removed from the premises. So when it's checked back in, it gets re-enchanted then, I guess. So that's why you have to follow procedures for checking books out. I had no idea. Me either. You sure know a lot of stuff, Riddle. Oh, come on. I don't know about Callum, but you and I were both there for the overview they gave at orientation, Juice. They did that? I barely used the library, so I guess I forgot. Is that right? I'll ensure you know all about it by the time I'm done tutoring you. Be ready. Didn't that balloon-like object come in from outside the library? As long as it's not library property, you should be able to send it outside. It doesn't count as a rule violation. Ah, I see. All right. May I borrow that, Callum? Sure. Here goes. Ha! Oh, I know! What if House Warden Riddle used his magic to send us outside too? It probably doesn't work on living beings. I doubt that'd work. Only a handful of mages are capable of teleporting people, and the limitations are... That's a alright. It's no use. It's not just that we can't leave. We can't send objects outside either. Very well. I'll examine it through the glass. All of you, head to one of the windows nearby. Lanterns with wishes. The object as him discovered is a lantern. A lantern? Oh, so those metal fittings are for a candle. Additionally, I believe this is the same sun emblem that appears in the tale of the Princess in the Tower. The Princess in the Tower? As I recall, that's Shaftland's folklore. The one about the princess who lived her whole life in a tower, right? I heard it when I was a kid. She's trapped in a tall tower by an evil witch, but escapes to go see some wondrous lights. Oh, that sounds like a fun story. You know your stuff, Jack. I mean, I am from the Shaftlands, but I couldn't tell you much more than the basics. I mostly remember how she teams up with a thief who snuck into the tower, and then they go on the journey together. She's one bold princess. Howell has the broad strokes correct. I recall seeing a sun emblem much like the one on that lantern in a book about the tale. The library could very well have its own such books, wouldn't you think? They might provide us with some insights. I'll go see if I can find any. I was able to find 4 books that covered Shaftland's folklore. None of them devoted more than a few pages to the Princess in the Tower, but one of them did mention the sun emblem. Every year on the princess's birthday, her parents and their subjects would send up lanterns with prayers for her safety. Apparently, the lanterns sent up by the king and queen were marked with an emblem in the shape of a sun. It's the same as the markings on our lantern. It's said that the princess saw the light from those lanterns flying through the sky, and that was what solidified her resolve to go outside. Perhaps the wishes that the people made on those lanterns are what guided her back home. I have 2 daughters that are all grown up and moved out myself. I can relate to parents beset with worry over their child. Is this the first we've heard of Train's daughters? I know we'd heard about his wife before. I mean, obviously it makes sense for him to have 2 daughters, I guess. Oh, for sure. I bet Mum and Dad was super sad that their daughter just up and disappeared. Makes sense. What parent wouldn't be worried sick about their kid being endangered or injured? Just so. I have no doubt the king and queen would have wished to find her just as strongly as they prayed for her safety. That's very insightful. But it's a fictional story, right? This lantern is from a kingdom that doesn't exist. What's it doing at our school? Is it someone's idea of a prank? Interesting that this one is considered fictional, as opposed to all of the historical ones, right? Like, because the 7 are history here. But apparently this is not history. You'd best start believing in fairy tales, Jack. Yes. This whole setup is far too elaborate for a prank. It's defied everyone's attempts at resolving it through magic and physical force. I doubt a mere prank could cause what's happening now. While it seems on the fantastical side, I find it easier to believe that a lantern imbued with the King and Queen's wishes arrived at our school for some reason, and its influence is creating circumstances similar to what happened in the story. You mean to say this is a reenactment of the tale of the princess in the tower? And that would make the library the tower. And it would make all of you Rapunzel. And does that mean that me and Grim are Flynn Rider? Given that we are outside of the tower. I don't want to be chased by a strangely aware horse. I mean, maybe. But why drag us into it? According to those books I read, hardly anyone in the kingdom of that tale had the gift of magic. Perhaps the fact we can use magic means we've been given the role of the princess. Yeah. Okay, not me and Grim, just me then. If this follows the story, maybe you can escape the library by becoming princesses. Alright? How can you say that with a straight face? Us as princesses, but how would that even work? I was born and raised in a regular family and don't know the first thing about being a princess. The closest we have to a princess here is Callum. We could start by making our hair and outfits more princessy. As it is, we just look like students, right? I get it. It makes sense that we have to start by gearing ourselves up. Why are you both considering this like it's a foregone conclusion? We're about as far from princesses as it gets. How so? How not so? The way we carry ourselves, the way we talk. And princesses are supposed to care about the common folk. See, now you're considering it too. It's good to see you all so eager to solve this. I mean, yeah, if they have the roles of the princess and we have the roles of the thief, it stands to reason that we have to get into the library to get them out of the library, right? If Professor Train is right, and we're in a situation similar to the events of the Princess in the Tower, then by emulating the princess who escaped said tower, we may be able to do the same. The head mage and the other teachers are presently stumped on how to get us out. Wouldn't it be more productive to take action rather than twiddling our thumbs? Okay, fair. It definitely beats sitting around on our tails. I've wanted to make my own way out this whole time. If we're doing this, I'm going all in. You're gonna be one beautiful princess, Jack. I'll do whatever you say, boss. You can count me in too, of course. Alright, I see what you're aiming for. It's certainly worth a try. The challenge is doing it without being able to transfer objects. Much of what you're doing will require certain items. That's true. Even at a brief glance at these books, there's much that needs to be done. But wait! In the book I just checked... Ah, here it is! It says that the princess received all her food, cleaning supplies, and other necessities through a single window. If this truly is following the story, perhaps there's a similar loophole. A single window. That's it! There's one open window here. Professor Train, I've brought lunch for Callum and the others as per the head major's request. Perfect timing, Jamil. Could you fetch a flight magic broom? Huh? Alright, I've flown up to the window that Riddle pointed out. But if there's an invisible barrier, wouldn't that make it impossible to pass objects through? I guess nothing for it but to give it a try. Here, Callum, take this basket. Thanks! What's on the menu today? Last night you said you wanted meat, so this is spicy chicken saute. Saute? I'm bad at this. For the side dish. The contents of the lunch are hardly relevant right now. I just hope this actually works. Ah! The basket made it! Yes! Now we've got lunch! Oh good, they aren't going to starve to death. That's good. Ooh! Second? Just a second. Sorry about that, I needed to cough. Oh, is the invisible wall gone? Maybe we can go outside now. I'll try and see. Callum, watch out! Ow! I smacked into something. Guess we're still stuck in here. Ouch. I tried to stop you and bashed my face right into what I guess is the invisible wall you mentioned. But the basket Callum was holding flew outside. Wait. There's a wait. We couldn't send the lantern outside before. Why can we do that with the basket? Because you're using the window that's available to you? I guess the key is this single window. Objects can only get in or out through this window, and this window alone. That's him. Even if that invisible wall hadn't been there, you should never ever jump out of a window. Flight magic or no, you'd have suffered grievous bodily harm had you fallen. That goes for the rest of you as well. Don't even consider escaping by jumping from that window. Is that clear? Yes, Professor. Callum. Why would your attempt to figure out if the invisible wall had gone be trying to jump out of the window? Just trying to push your arm through would be a better option. Please, for the love of the seven, prioritize your safety at all times. If Callum remains trapped in the library, that will be a huge, huge problem for me. I may not be able to get inside, but I'll continue providing support from the outside. Let me know if you need anything at all. Sure thing. Thanks, Jamil. We've now established that while people cannot enter or leave, we can transfer objects through this window. We're finally making progress. Having supplies brought in through a specific window is another part of the Princess in the Tower. That makes it even more likely this is a reenactment of that tale. We may be able to glean something from this information. I'll apprise the head mage at once. Hello, head mage. We've learned something. I'm still not totally clear on what's going on, but at least we can get meal baskets now. Yeah, thanks to you opening that window, we won't have to worry about food. On the other hand, we might have avoided this whole mess if you hadn't opened that window and grabbed the lantern to begin with. Very true. That said, what's done is done. There's no use crying over spilled milk. I say we enact our prior proposal in the interests of resolving this matter as quickly as possible. Our prior proposal? The thing you were talking about. You know, gearing up with the right hair and clothes. That's right. We should pore through these books to ascertain distinctive traits of the princess's appearance. Long hair. Long hair is the most definite one. Some illustrations of her would make this a lot simpler. But I'm not seeing any. Huh? You mean there aren't any illustrations of the main character? Not that I can find. One of these books does have illustrations, but only 2 of them. The mural the princess painted on the wall, and the lanterns flying through the sky. For her hairstyle and clothes, all we've got to go on is the way she's described in the text. Aren't books without illustrations hard to read? It'd be so much easier to follow if they had a few drawings. Yeah, huh? I know what you mean. Riddle is looking unimpressed, and so am I. Right? Putting aside illustrations, or the lack thereof, according to this book, the princess had long hair and wore a pink and purple dress. There aren't any detailed pictures of the design. But considering that she did cleaning and regular exercise, I imagine it was something easy to move around in. From what I've read, the princess painted a mural of celestial bodies. If she liked the stars and sun and stuff, then maybe her clothes and accessories featured those kinds of designs. Wait, this book mentions a green figure. I'm guessing that's not the princess. Does that mean someone else besides the princess was stuck in the tower too? This book mentions her having a little friend. He was her constant companion. A little green friend, hmm? Perhaps that's another essential part of playing a princess. I'd say we've learned enough to have a decent idea of what she looked like. Let's send for some fitting attire. That takes care of the clothes. The problem is the hair. It takes months to grow out your hair. Really? Having a sleepover with you guys sounds fun and all, but not being able to see anyone else for months would just be lonely. I can't stay in here that long. Spending months surrounded by this many books would end up overloading my brain. I mean, not unless you read them, Deuce. Just being around them isn't going to do that, I don't think. I don't think they have an AoE effect. How much of an aversion to books do you have? Significant if we remember the main story. There are other much more pressing concerns here. The rules state that a tea party must be held in the garden 5 days out of every month. You're being just as absurd, Riddle. If we're talking about pressing concerns, I've got a cactus I have to take care of. Jack. You do know how long cactuses can go without being watered? Surely. Regardless, this is a very serious issue. In which case... Professor Train, I apologize for interrupting your call, but I'd like to speak with the head mage about something if I may. Ooh, are we getting potions to make our hair grow? Alright. Head mage, Rose Hearts is requesting your presence at the library. Yep, cacti and succulents. The only houseplants I have are succulents, and that's because I'm really, really bad at remembering to water things. They are, in fact, still alive. Do you have an idea, House Warden Riddle? I'd at least like to discuss it. Though, to be honest, I'm not expecting a positive answer. I need to get some more water. I will be right back. And I'm back. Given that this chapter title is "I'll buy them," are we going to see Sam as well? Or is it going to be Azel? You wish to make a hair growth potion? That sounds handy. I didn't know those existed. I saw it mentioned in a journal for medical mages some time ago. In the interest of reenacting the events of the Princess in the Tower, I was hoping you could assist us in creating it, sir. Oh dear! Would that I could help! The golden fruit needed for hair growth potions is extremely rare and highly expensive. For the price of just one fruit, we could build another library just like this one. A whole other library? So it's off the table. I'm afraid so. If we used all 4 of the fruits in our rare plant storage room, it would inhibit our ability to run this school. Oop. Elgato? Okay. I love how Crowley's like, they're very rare and very expensive, but we do have 4 of them. You'll have to find another way to... I'll buy them. What? I mean, Callum does have the money to solve this. You will? Sure. That way you can get 4 fresh fruits, right? Please, head mage, let us have them. Yeah, what a coincidence. We have exactly 4. Why, certainly. As long as you're footing the bill, I have no problem with this course of action at all. I'll ask Professor Cruel to ready the potion ingredients now. Now we can grow our hair out, right? Oh, I better let Jamil know he needs to get payment ready for the head mage. I'm sorry about this, Callum, but thank you. This makes a huge difference. You made a snap decision that involved tremendous amounts of money. I've never been more grateful to have you around than now. Yeah, Riddle, you know that Callum did not think about this. He did not ask how much it was. Callum just goes, I have money. And you know, he does. How many Thormarks would it cost to build this library? I can't even imagine. Was the head mage factoring in the cost of the books? Because we heard about the cost of the books. We also heard about the antique doors. Yeah. We live in wildly different worlds. Guess that's what it's like being ultra rich. I've procured all of the necessary ingredients for hair growth potions. This potion can only be formulated under the supervision of a licensed alchemist and potionologist. Namely, me. You may learn how to make it, but never brew this on your own. Well, given that it involves a fruit that is prohibitively expensive, Professor, I don't think they'll be doing it on their own. Except maybe Callum. As the head mage has gone over already, golden fruits are extremely rare and expensive. Procurement of ingredients is by far the biggest obstacle to brewing this potion. You'd better not even think of botching this. Talk about nerve-wracking. Consider it my way of impressing the point upon every untrained pup here. Will they get extra credit for doing this correctly, Cruel? Say, couldn't we just have Cruel or Riddle handle the brew? You guys would do a great job of making them, right? Then we could just drink what you make. Clearly, this is not how it works, Callum. Points for properly appreciating my alchemical aptitude. But your suggestion wouldn't work, pup. This potion only works for the one who brews it. And its effects differ heavily by the level of precision in its formulation. The process of uniformly mixing the ingredients figures heavily into the end result. This means that as long as you formulate it with sufficient accuracy, it should work fine regardless of your magical reserves. Isn't it fun having a potion where your skill translates directly to the end results? I very much look forward to seeing it in action. I might be in trouble here. I'm not great at delicate work. Neither am I. I just figure if I throw more ingredients in, it'll work out. The only person in here who I can trust for this to work out for is Riddle. Except, clearly they all managed to do it because we've seen the cards. I'm pretty bad at following multi-step processes. I always get the steps mixed up in the middle. Can't you people do anything? Simply follow the instructions in the textbook and you'll have nothing to worry about. Oh yes, I have one more fun tidbit to share. This potion enhances your hair with a coating of magic. It will take concerted effort to cut or pull out. A hair growth potion influences your body's physical growth, and it confers a power one would never come by otherwise. Those are the reasons why formulating it is so heavily restricted. You mean I get to have long-haired Jack for a while? I'm not seeing the downside to this. That concludes my lecture. Did you get all of that, pups? Yes, sir. I said yes, but my palms are all sweaty now. I really can't afford to screw this up. No kidding. I shouldn't have listened when they were talking about the price tag. Now my hands are shaking. Don't be so nervous. If it turns out bad, we can always make more, right? It might take a while to get more golden fruit, Callum. Were you even listening? Those 4 golden fruits are the only ones available to us. And they're extremely rare. Even if you can afford them, there's no telling when we can get a hold of more. Oh yeah. Jeez, now I'm getting nervous. Quiet! That's enough chit-chat from you pups. Pay close attention and follow my instructions. Are you all done mashing up your golden fruit? Next, add all of the ingredients together and mix the solution evenly. Give it exactly 10 full stirs. Any more or any less and the effect will be diminished by half. Exactly, 10 stars! Got it! Nice and even. Which number was I on again? 7! Stop after you stir it 3 more times. Wow, you kept count? Thanks, that's a big help. Spade, your stirring is too half-hearted. If you don't get it thoroughly mixed within 10 stirs, it won't work properly. Got it. It's not like it looks any different. You can't exactly tell if you're doing a decent job stirring or not. Howl, stop smacking the stirring rod against the side of the container. You can't use brute force with this. I can't take my eyes off you pups for a split second. It's astounding just how stressful this is for me. How are you faring, Rose Hearts? Exactly 10 stirs, uniformly. From the outside, from the bottom, gently, exactly 10 stirs, uniformly, from the outside. At least one of you is doing this right. Riddle? Your eyes are crazy bloodshot. That's some serious focus. Housewarden Riddle, you need to blink. I guess this is why Riddle's hair is full Rapunzel in that card, whereas the rest of them don't need to braid it. For the next step, take the drinker's hair, that is, yours, grind it up and add it in. How do you grind hair? Dunno. I just have to pull out a strand of hair? Sure! Ow! Okay, now to add it and grind it up. You can't do it that way round, Callum. Grinding first. Stay! Don't move the pestle around that quickly. Even the slightest frictional heat can affect the final product. Yeah, mortar and pestle, I guess. I just hadn't considered hair as being a thing that can be powdered. I already ground mine to powder? Are you kidding? My hair won't grind down at all. A matter of hair thickness, I suppose. Yours doesn't look to be as fine. What should I do in that case, sir? Can you cut it up into tiny pieces, maybe? You'll just have to grind harder, but try to avoid adding more heat. This is a delicate product, so treat it with care. And also the smell of burning hair is terrible, and you don't want that. Is it interference on my mic? Is there something wrong, Nick? Or is it my voice, because my throat is upset a bit about my Jack voice. Yeah, I don't have a way of hearing. Sounded a bit staticky. Could be the fan. Is that better? We'll have to see. Let me know if it does it again. Man, that's the kind of work I'm worst at. As for Rose Hearts, you seem to be doing well. Ooh. The sound of getting a text near an old school TV. Huh. Yeah, that is a weird staticky noise that I don't know how that would have happened. Well, let me know if it happens again. Grind down as firmly and finely as possible, but without adding heat. House Warden Blink! Lastly, channeled some magic. Oh, it changed colour. That means it worked, right? Phew. Everyone's potions changed colour. That's a relief. I'm not sure how well it turned out, though. Fingers crossed this works. That's definitely a unique smell. Is this really safe for consumption? Go on and drink them. Your degree of success will be apparent from how long your hair grows. Let's all take it together then. Here goes. Ugh, what a weird taste. It occurs to me we just drank our own hair. That's kind of freaky. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've eaten some of my own hair in my youth. It's fine, Jack. You should see your faces. It will take some time for the potions to take effect. In the meantime, here, get changed. Goodness, you even procured outfits for us on such short notice? You provided the details. I expanded upon and perfected them. It wasn't easy throwing all of this together in a hurry, but I'm rather pleased with how it all turned out. Since I couldn't take your measurements, I eyeballed it. You'll have to do the final adjustments yourselves. I'm impressed with how fast you came up with 4 outfits, Professor. Even if clearly magic was involved. That's still a lot of work. Final adjustments? Where would I even start? Relax. I've called in some backup. Vil? Backup? It is Vil. He means me. Vil! You heard it again? Okay, just a sec. Just a second. I'm just going to... I'm going to get it so that I can hear what's going on. It's faded again. Hold on! So it's not doing it anymore, huh? So it's definitely not doing it now. OBS also doesn't want to let me listen to my own voice. So never mind. Yeah, I can't listen to the stream while I'm also doing this. So... Did it make the noise while I was speaking or while I wasn't? Is, I guess, an important question. The faculty reached out to me. So now I'm here to provide adjustment tips to get you spudlings at least somewhat presentable. I also brought suitable makeup to go with those outfits. Here, take it. Sewing kits and makeup kits. Thanks a ton, Vil. Indeed, you should all consider yourselves lucky to receive lessons from yours truly. I expect proper gratitude. When I wasn't talking, so it could be coming... Cake. It could be a problem with the cable to the capture card then. That's a possibility. So it might not be my microphone at all. The adjustments will take time. All of you get to work. Yes, sir. Ah, Callum, you're green! Callum is Pascal. Okay, all changed. I'm really liking these bright greens. And I gotta say, the hair growth potion's amazing. One moment my scalp feels all itchy, and the next I've got this super long hair. When I checked myself in the mirror, it was like I was looking at a stranger. I mean, I can't see quite how long that got, Callum. Jack. He's got so much hair. That outfit and hairstyle are both solid on you, Callum. Though I agree, having my hair like this is pretty weird. I like the little flowers he's got in his hair. I generally trim it short, so this doesn't feel right. And it was a pain getting this outfit on with all these decorative elements. I couldn't make heads or tails of what this bit of cloth was for. How was I supposed to know it goes over my shoulder like a sash? Deuce is very blue. No kidding. So many parts of this outfit were totally unfamiliar to me. My hair kept getting in the way while I was trying to wrap this shawl. It threw me for a loop when I was told it was supposed to go around my waist, not my neck. Vil, thanks for explaining so much about where these accessories go and how we're supposed to wear them. Professor Cruel put these ensembles together personally. Wearing them improperly would be entirely unacceptable. I also appreciate the sewing lesson. The chest area was strained to bursting when I first tried it on. Cruel, you underestimated Jack's chest, I'm afraid. Once I followed your directions to adjust these buttons, fasteners, the whole thing got a lot more comfortable. I know what you mean. I never imagined I'd do hemming work myself. It was fine wearing it as is, but Phil was like, absolutely not. So Callum's was too long then. Sewing is hard. I pricked my finger so many times while I was taking in my collar. And Deuce has a scrawny neck. Moving buttons and patching holes seemed easy in theory, but it was rough in practice. If you boys were more experienced, you wouldn't have pricked your fingers, or had to sew to start with. You only have yourselves to blame. I mean, Vil, I've sewn a lot of things and I still stab myself. I don't think it's experience. Thimbles exist for a reason, Vil. Agreed. If you were more capable mages, you would have been able to easily resize your clothes using magic. Just as Rosehearts did. Ah, Riddle didn't have to do sewing, huh? Bare feet, hair that goes all the way down there, even while it's braided. Yeah, Riddle definitely did the best job. The night sky, the sun, flowers, and birds soaring free. This is a beautiful ensemble that tastefully combines many of the motifs from the Princess in the Tower. It's easy to move around in while still remaining refined in appearance. You've really outdone yourself with this design, Professor Cruel. I quite like the liberal use of that transparent gradiated chiffon. The way your cape shimmers as you move is truly elegant. It suits your composed demeanor. And the hair. The hair. It's absurdly long. What happened there? Why is your hair so excessively long when no one else's is? Because Riddle did the best. That all comes down to their potions. Rosehearts brewed his to complete perfection. Good boy. That was a superb performance. Thank you, Professor. That said, hair this long makes it very hard to move around. Though Deuce and the others braiding it for me made it a lot easier. Ah, Deuce and the others did that, huh? Good for them. But it's still touching the floor. Sorry I couldn't do a better job with the braid. What are you apologizing for? If one of those books hadn't included a passage about the princess using magic to do her hair, I was prepared to simply carry my hair around as needed. I'm grateful you suggested putting it in a braid. Yeah, it was a big help the way you kept giving directions on which side to braid in next. Plus, it was fun playing jump rope with Riddle's hair. Oh, of course you did, Callum. Watching you made me so nervous you were going to end up stepping on his hair. We bumped into each other a lot while weaving it in and out too. It's lucky it turned out as well as it did. Personally, I'm surprised you knew how to braid hair, Deuce. You even placed the hair accessories at aesthetically pleasing intervals. Is hairstyling a skill of yours? I wouldn't call it a skill, really, but I dabbled in a lot of different styles back in middle school. Yeah, Riddle allowed them to skip with his hair. That does surprise me. Thanks for doing my hair too, Deuce. You even wound my headscarf just right. So Deuce also did all the tiny braids in Callum's hair. And then did nothing to Jax. It's Jax just too unruly to do anything to. Not to mention how quickly you got a handle on your own hair. I was surprised you were so good at it. Yeah, I mean, a high ponytail is not easy. I have an exceptional card soldier. It wasn't anything that hard. And I'm honoured by the compliment, House Warden. I'm still stuck on the fact that only Riddle succeeded in formulating the potion, though. It's deplorable the rest of you would do so badly under my vigilant watch. Wait, you mean we botched it? Yeah, your hair's only down to, like... Well, I can't actually tell, Callum. I'm guessing it's only just below your shoulders, tied up like that. So, full length, probably the small of your back, which is about where Jax is. And Deuce, I think. After all Professor Cruel's warnings, I still didn't manage to mix it evenly. Can't believe my own hair tripped me up. I won't lose next time, though. I'll nail it. Please don't let there be a next time. We didn't get Riddle's success, but our hair did grow out. I think we can make this work. Right. We've all got totally different looks, too. I think we can pull this off as long as we're in these outfits. It is wild that the closest to a princess that we have is not playing the princess here. Yeah, I should hope this long hair and pink and purple outfit puts me a little closer to being a princess. Yes, I'm confident in our chances now. Time to open the door. I think you guys are forgetting something. I think you guys are forgetting that the princess in the tower didn't leave by the door. It won't open. Hello, Callum. Ah, yes. Now I can see how long his hair got. Yeah, I think you may have done the worst, Callum. Although, it is kind of in an updo, so that it is looking shorter than it would be. It's cute though.
大変だ。このままじゃ宴を開けない。みんなと歌って踊るためにも頑張って脱出しよう。
Callum obtained. The door isn't budging? But I thought we could get out if we dressed like princesses. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to have helped. This is troubling. I was so confident my hypothesis was right. What else can we try? There's the bell. It must be lunchtime. No wonder I'm getting hungry. Then let's have the meal Jamel made for us. We can talk about our next steps while we eat. Great. Professor Cruel and Vil both went to eat already, and I'm famished. The faculty may have made an exception and granted us permission, but that doesn't change the fact we're eating and drinking in the... That doesn't change the fact that eating and drinking in the library is against the rules. I'll pass on the meal. No, Riddle, you need to keep your strength up and not get dehydrated. Eat the meal, Riddle. Eat the meal. Huh? But it's lunchtime. Aren't you hungry at all, Riddle? Still, he's got a point. Eating in the library isn't exactly honest student behavior. I'd better pass too. Just because Riddle says he doesn't want any, doesn't mean you've got to follow his lead. It's up to each of us whether or not we eat, but I don't want anyone making our jobs harder because they're too hungry to act. Jack, don't be rude to House Warden Riddle. Come on now, no fighting. Don't worry, if you get hungry again, I can always ask Jamel to whip up more food for us. Here's your lunch. Eat up. Jamel's cooking is the absolute best. Thanks, but still. Don't worry about me. Just make certain to leave the table no more than 15 minutes after you're done eating. Yes, sir. Sheesh. Can't believe you're being a stickler for the rules at a time like this. That was good! See what I mean? Isn't Jamel's cooking fantastic? Absolutely. That spicy seasoned chicken was amazing. I wish I could have had more. The dessert was incredible too. All those different nuts gave it a nice crunch. What was that called? What was it again? You'll have to ask Jamel later. All right, all of you. If you're done eating, leave the table now. We've received no word of any solutions from the head mage, so we'll have to figure out what to try next ourselves. Yes, sir. Let's move to that table over there. We imitated the Princess in the Tower's appearance on the assumption that emulating the story would lift the curse. But it didn't work. I reviewed our books while you were all eating, and there were no issues with our attire. That means... Is the problem on the inside rather than the outside? Do we have to act like a princess too? Yes, I believe emulating the princess's behaviour as described in the book is worth trying. Are we going to paint the ceiling of the library? Descriptions of things she did may differ from one book to the next. Why don't we each take a book and read it, and then compare what she did in them? Oh yeah, because there's 4 books, right? Sure. Reading like this reminds me of when I was a kid. My parents used to love telling me I should follow the Princess in the Tower's example and do my chores every day. I can't believe that the princess really did all of that cleaning, though. I thought my parents just made that up to get me to do more housework. I mean, did it work, Jack? I was wondering about this earlier, but have you never actually read The Princess in the Tower before now? I haven't. My parents would just tell it to me all the time when I was little, before I started elementary school. I admit, though, I'm surprised. All the stuff you know, Riddle, I'd have thought you'd be familiar with the story. Why would I? Tales relating to legends of the Great Seven, or the culture and origin of cities, are covered in textbooks. But I've never needed to familiarise myself with meaningless folk tales or fairy tales. Riddle! Riddle! Meaningless? There's a lot of meaning in folk tales and fairy tales. That's the entire purpose of the thing. They provide warnings or teach lessons, Riddle. Look, that wasn't a criticism. Man, what a pain. Admittedly, given that Riddle is such a stickler for the word of the rules, I guess he probably didn't need fairy tales to teach him that he's not supposed to go out off into the woods on his own. There it was again. And right when I wasn't paying attention to the audio mixer. Yeah, I'll have to listen back to the stream after we're done. And then I get to find out if it was my end or your end. So, going back to emulating the princess, we already did sewing, right? That we did. The 3 of you used a needle and thread to adjust the fit of your clothes. And I added to my flower decorations. I believe it's safe to say we've got that task covered. I mean, I don't know, maybe you should sweep the floor as well, just for good measure. Let's see, what else? Well, we can check off reading. All 4 of us are doing that right now. Wait. Oh, no! Only 2 of us are reading. Jack, I am truly glad you're one of the people I'm stuck in the library with. If not for your diligence, I don't know what state I would be in right now. I was just thinking the same thing. If you weren't in our group, I'd have flown off the handle by now. Ah, they're both keeping each other grounded. Good. Deuce Spade! Kelim Alazim! Yep. You dare to sleep on the job? Have you finished reading your books? Sorry, House Warden. I read some of it, but I didn't get very far. Sorry about that. I was feeling so full I just dozed off. Really now? Yeah. This was the second to last chapter though, wasn't it, Nick, I think? You said it was 14. I think this one was 13. Yeah. To summarize what I read, the princess did cleaning, laundry, cooking, sewing, and weaving. She handled all the chores by herself. My book said she made snacks. Oh, and she exercised. I'm not sure exactly what exercises she did, though. Running, maybe? With all that hair, probably not, For someone stuck in a tower, it does seem like she had a lot of space. But I doubt she had a gymnasium or coliseum's worth of floor space. Judging from the mentions of her doing ballet and yoga, I'd guess her tower was as wide as Pomfiore's ballroom at most. Though she could still do weight training without much room. That makes sense. You're saying that her regular training regimen is what enabled her to escape the tower unaided. The story says she was kept high up in the tower, which means she'd have to go down a ton of stairs if she wanted to leave. That would take some stamina for sure. And she liked games too. My book mentions she loved puzzles, darts, and chess. She even enjoyed playing tricks. What kind of tricks did she play? That's what I want to know. Her routine's only described in broad strokes like everything else. We'll have to use our imaginations when considering how she engaged in her activities. My book also mentions she played the guitar, painted pictures, and made candles and pottery. Yes, she strikes me as a highly creative type. My book also had a passage about how she often liked to sing to herself. Oh, she liked singing and playing the guitar! The story also says she enjoyed dancing with people in town after she escaped the tower and went to her birthplace. I wish I could have invited the princess to one of my parties. I bet we'd have gotten along great. Yeah, probably. The princess got help from a thief who snuck into the tower. The thief then helped her to get to the city. She danced hand in hand with the townspeople there, and as the sun set, she rowed a boat out to sea. All so she could have a perfect view of the mysterious lights she'd longed to witness. Countless lamps floating in the sky. That spectacle gave her the courage to see her parents again. And that's how the story ends. But is what she did after she escaped even relevant here? I figured we'd just reenact up to when she escapes. And once we're out of the library, that'll be the end of it. That was my plan at first, but in the story, the lanterns were sent out as a prayer for the princess's safety, yes? If a lantern is what's causing this, that power might remain at work until we reenact the scene with the lanterns in it. If we escaped the library but the library still remained inaccessible, that would be a travesty. As the head mage said, this library is the brains of Nightraven College. It houses a great many valuable books. Forever losing access to them would be a loss for the whole world. Wow, you're really fired up about this. I never imagined this place was so valuable. I hadn't thought that far ahead. But if you're right, the head mage wouldn't stand for that. Just imagine it. He'd be like, "You can issue books through the window, yes?" He'd send us back in and make us work the checkout desk forever. What? That's ridiculous! But he'd totally do that, wouldn't he? It's difficult to rule out entirely, and that's the trouble. I don't want to spend the rest of my life stuck in a library. Likewise, for the sake of both the library and ourselves, it would be safest to reenact the whole story to the end. In that case, do we have to row a boat out to sea and watch lanterns as well? And these lanterns were sent up by the princess's parents and the townspeople, right? And then it probably wouldn't be a proper reenactment if we sent them up ourselves, would it? Oh no! In the story, the lanterns floated through the sky every year on the princess's birthday. Considering the fact that a lantern similar to the ones in the story appeared before us this morning, then... we have to escape the library, dance, take a boat from the harbour, gaze at floating lanterns, and do all of that today, before the date changes at midnight. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the library for a year. Before midnight? The lunch hour just ended. That gives us plenty of time before midnight, right? It would, if all we were going to do is imitate the princess going out to sea. The problem's the lanterns. We can't make a scant handful if we want to have countless lights. Alright, it's going to be hard getting a whole bunch of lanterns ready to float while doing everything else, huh? Well, I mean, maybe you can get friends with magic to just make magical lights in the sky. They don't have to be lanterns, right? But hey, couldn't we just ask the rest of the dorm for help? The students of Heart's level? Yes, sir. If they hear you're in trouble, everyone will pitch in and make as many lanterns as they can. Oh, that's a good idea. I should ask the guys in my dorm too. I suppose that makes sense. The more people we have helping, the better. Let's ask the head mage to get the whole student body to make lanterns and send them flying. Oop, there we go. And that is the current story done. I wish luck to our very, very pretty boys in getting out of the library unscathed. Both them and the library. But I guess we'll have to see that next time. So, thank you very much for watching. It's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description box. The streaming schedule for the channel is up both over on social media and over here on YouTube in the posts tab of the channel. The next scheduled stream for this week is Wednesday, 7 PM. Going to be doing some more Tales of Symphonia. So I hope to see you then, or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya! Bye bye!